day of sorrow. I have seen my countrymen bound and dragged away. So many young men have died in her defense. Now America must fall. We are entirely at the mercy of the British soldiers. Even women are being sent to the prison ships. Do the Britons think that they'll conquer America this way? We may be led, but we'll never be driven.
The entire Southern Army is captured. Most of South Carolina falls into British hands. Georgia has been pacified, and North Carolina will soon follow. A delighted General Clinton reports back to London.
With greatest pleasure, I report to your lordship that inhabitants from every quarter rush to declare their allegiance to the king. I may venture to assert that there are few men in South Carolina who are not either in arms with us or our prisoners.
Since the beginning of the war, the British have issued 2 extraordinary proclamations offering protection to slaves who run away from their patriot masters.
They gave the African Americans the knowledge that they could become involved in this war, and that force could work toward their own freedom. They could work among the British, they would have occupations, they were paid by the British, and the march from plantations to the Clinton forces was for them a freedom march.
We ask for nothing more than is our right. We are the creatures of that God who made all nations of the earth of one blood and one kindred. We are no more obliged to serve you than you to serve us. The more we consider the matter, the more we are convinced we were not created to be slaves.
It became very apparent to British military leadership that racial manipulation might be used successfully to bring white Southerners to heel. It created widespread panic among white Southerners because every Southerner, whether he or she was a slave owner or a non-slave owner, feared the prospect of a massive slave uprising. They all felt their own vulnerability.
A Negro man named Charles ran off from me last night. I believe he intends to try to get to the British. He may prove resolute and daring if endeavored to be taken. His leaving was from no cause of complaint or dread of a whipping, for he has always been remarkably indulged. Indeed, too much so. But from a determination to get his liberty by flying to the British. He's very black, has a large nose, and is about 5 feet 8 or 10 inches high. I will give £5 to any person who secures him.
The British see the proclamations as a powerful weapon to destabilize the South. But the Patriots are determined to hold on to their slaves. They unite in opposition to the British.
And so in a great irony, the retention of this slave system becomes a significant objective of the revolution in the South. So we have a revolution in behalf of freedom and independence, and part of the freedom and independence is the maintenance of the slave system.
A victorious Clinton returns to New York, leaving the South under the command of General Charles Cornwallis, a 40-year-old aristocrat and professional soldier. Cornwallis is charged with executing the second part of the strategy to conquer the South. The British are aware that a large percentage of the population has never supported the revolution. For the first time in the war, the British intend to make these loyalists a key component of their war effort. The plan is to conquer an area and then put loyalists in charge.
The idea is that you send in a relatively small force, certainly far smaller than the force Howe took to Staten Island in 1776. You send in a relatively small force. That defeats whatever major unit, patriot units you have in the area. And once those Patriot units have been defeated, the Loyalists are encouraged to rise, to organize themselves in a militia, that militia will terrorize their opponents and in effect take over the civil government and produce resources and recruits for the British, and that this process will be extendable throughout the South. So it is a new strategy.
It is a strategy doomed from the start. The British have no idea that they are walking into a hornet's nest. Their Loyalist allies have little enthusiasm for the British cause. They are mainly interested in revenge against the Patriots. The Loyalists tend to be recent immigrants, poor Scots-Irish who have settled the back country. These new arrivals have been treated with contempt by the established, well-to-do gentry, and there is bad blood between them.